let there be light, and there was light, and it was good. Good morning. Hello, Kid Lady Rescue. Pay tribute. Good morning. Dafaja. Good morning. Romeo has a ball for me. Good morning. Oh, my hair's already falling out. Give up. Leona, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Oh, that's a little... I can't decide how I like the... I'm not liking the light. I'm not liking the reflection. It's going to drive me nuts the entire time. That's what I'm like. Okay. Good morning. It's either shadow or bright freaking light. I can't get the happy medium. There. How's that? Is that better? We'll just do this. Good morning, everyone. I'm a child. Good morning, Mama Razzi. Good morning, Leona. How are you? So, as always, feel free to share your shows, ask your questions, tell us about what you have going on, ask for follows, etc., etc. Tomorrow is the official start. All Canadian sellers, whether you like it or not, are going to get transitioned from US dollar selling to Canadian dollar selling. So if you haven't read that FAQ, read the dang FAQ and set up your Stripe if you haven't set up your Stripe. Mamarazzi says, I'm homesick. Oh no. So I get to come into your... I hope you're feeling better soon, Mamarazzi. Oh my goodness. Bless God's favor. Good morning. How are you? Okay. I should probably do some sort of work along, but like The Price is Right of my adult life. Yes, I could do that. I could probably do some sort of Plinko. Wouldn't Plinko be fun? I don't know. Good morning. Bless God's favor says good morning. Blessed and grateful. That's awesome. Good morning, Nietzsche. I managed to get through most of the stuff on the bed that I'd been working on for the past week. So now I can go and do the van. The Faja says the handmade cards. Wait, hang on. Handmade greeting cards show at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love it. Pay Tribute says I've done 4 shows now, all with chit chats. On Friday, I'm going to try my first show with rolled items in shipping tubes, and you do have to use Canada Post. Yes, you will have to use Canada Post unless you can put it in a rectangular. Instead of putting it in, if you can put your roll inside of a rectangle, then yeah. And my advice would be to do a custom shipping profile. Yeah, I would recommend Pay Tribute, do a custom shipping profile. So all right, do you have the dimensions? We'll play that game now. Let's do it right now. Create a quality listing. We're going to just have a picture from something on my phone. Oh, there's my dog. Okay. There's my dog, Joey. So yeah, you grab the dimensions. Pay Tribute. Tube is 36 by 3 inch. So 36 by 3 by 3. Yeah. So it'd be 36 by 3 by 3. Okay. So we're going to put that under ephemera, I guess. Do we put it under ephemera? Or no, home decor. Home and garden. Home decor. There we go. Okay. And we're going to call this Big Posters Rolled. Okay. Description's going to be some weird words. And the condition is we're going to say good. And you're going to do 20 of these, let's say 17, 18, 19, 20. And it's going to be a starting bid of, we're just making this up this morning. We're doing a custom shipping profile. Okay, so I got my amounts. I've got, it's not a surprise set. And then we get to shipping profile. And this is where we're going to do a custom shipping profile. So here we go. We hit shipping profile. And at the very top right there, do you see custom? Okay, so now I have some questions for you. So the name of this is going to be rolled posters. Okay, so the weight of the roll with one poster in it weighs about how much, Pay Tribute? Like 1 to 2 pounds would be my guess, or less. I'm going to say 14 ounces. Okay, so let's say 17 ounces, because Gets you just above a pound. Okay, and then so I put in, I call it rolled posters. You're weighing it right now. Awesome. So and then all right, you tell me when you're ready. Good morning, Angela, Ashley. Good morning, Rebecca's Relics. Reuse, rewear. Good morning. Good morning to Border City Thrift. So Lester and Loom. I didn't have to set up Stripe. They just asked for my Canadian bank account. It was still set up through Stripe, Lester and Loom. Technically, that was still through Stripe. It's Whatnot set it up through Stripe. All right. So Pay Tribute is just getting the weight of one of their posters. They're going to be selling rolled posters that they're going to ship in a. So if you use Chit Chats in Canada, you cannot send rolls. They don't accept rolls. They only accept 10 ounces. Okay. So one of them is 10 ounces. I'm going to up that to 12 just to give you a little bit of leeway. All right. So it's 12 ounces. And then how many posters could you roll into that one roll? Okay, so 10 ounces includes the poster, so you could go up to 10. Okay, so we're gonna say, so I put it at 12 ounces. So just to double check, the weight of one poster plus the roll is 10 ounces, if I'm correct. 13. Okay, so I'm gonna put that up to 14. Okay, just giving you a little leeway here. So 14 ounces for the first one. And then what we got to do is go right here to this bundling options. We're going to set the maximum number of items that can go into this package. And we're going to put that at 10. So if your buyer buys 10 posters, it's all going to go into the same roll. And you said each poster weighs 3 ounces. So that's perfect. So we are going to put the length. We have to turn this on. I'm just going to turn it off again so I can show it to you again. Okay, so set the maximum. You're going to turn that on. And then you're going to put 10 as the amount. And then we are going to put it at 36 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches. So right here, 36 by 3 by 3. That's what the tube is. And then we're going to say set a fixed weight for the additional items in this package. And you said they weigh 3 ounces. I'm going to give you, again, a little bit of leeway by adding 4 ounces on. All right. So you've got your 36. You've put the maximum of 10 posters can go in there. It's 36 by 3 by 3 inches. You can put it in centimeters, and then you have 4 ounces for each poster that goes in. I'm putting it 4 ounces. It just gives you a little tiny bit of leeway just in case. And then we just hit save. And now, good morning, Ballad Treasures. Good morning, Brody. Good morning, Cha Cha Baby. Lori Ann, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Okay, so now we have our custom shipping profile, and I just hit publish. And so let's pin and see how much the first poster is. So how much is the shipping for this first poster for everybody who's watching, and can US buyers see a shipping price? Because it is 36 inches. So 814 to Ontario to Ontario, 658 Ontario to Ontario. That's good. Lester and Loom says, I'm in Canada and don't see your shipping price. That's interesting. Nietzsche, Pay Tribute. Okay, so within Canada, 1041 to New Brunswick. Thank you, Little Squirrel. Good morning. Thank you, Nietzsche and Pay Tribute. Anyone in the US in the room right now? Brody is 814 in Windsor. Oh, good. Lester and Loom can say 658. Rebecca is 658. So it's okay for Canada. How about is there anybody here from the US? I'm in Canada. It says 814. Yeah, it's still in US dollars, Ballad Treasures, unfortunately. It's still currently in US dollars. Buzzy Burn Creations, you see $13.82 to the States. Thank you, Buzzy Burn. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not that it sounds bad, Buzzy Burn, but it's not too bad. Good morning, Kitten Lady Rescue. Okay, good morning, Dave. Kitten Lady Rescue says $15.02 international. So just so you know, Pay Tribute, it is going to be more to the States, which is kind of it's unusual, but that's just because it's big. And USPS is not a fan of big posters, big 36-inch things, but it still isn't too bad. And I would guess that your increments are going to be next to nothing when you add just 4 ounces on for each poster after that. So that's all you need to do. So it's not too bad. And you could, because I've been talking for a long time, my recommendation is you go to my YouTube to watch this section, which is at the very beginning, so you can play along and do your custom shipping profile. But that would be how I would do your custom shipping profile for your posters. It'll be a little bit more expensive for your US buyers, but yeah, no problem. That's why I do it. I like doing custom shipping profiles. I don't do them very often, but for something like this, that works perfectly for you. If you don't feel, and if you feel like putting 10 posters is pushing it, then go down to 8 or 9. The likelihood, I don't know how many posters you'll be able to sell to one person, but if it'll just restart them with a new box if they go above that number. So they'll just suddenly see that, like if they're in the States, they'll see $15 for their 11th poster. Because they basically, and if they ask you, it's because it started a new box. Patriot says, I think I could fit 20 to be honest, but I think better not. Yeah, I wouldn't. My concern would be rolling them too tight, because you know what that does to posters, right? So make sure that whatever you roll them to isn't going to be too tight. That's that's just, I know what it's like when you get a poster that's been rolled. Like, remember back in the day when you'd buy the posters and they would be like super, super like 1 inch, and then it would take forever to like flatten them out, and they would fight you on the wall forever when you were just trying to put up your poster of Corey Hart. Okay, I just need my poster for Corey Hart staring at me all night long. Finley's Bucket, good morning, 5 Acre Primitives, how are you? So Paid Tribute is doing their first rolled poster show on Friday night, so bookmark that show, because they're going to be using a custom shipping profile from Spencer's. Yes, oh my gosh, the ones from Spencer's are even tighter. I don't know how they I mean, I'm sure it's a machine that rolls it, but man, you can never unroll it. It just wants to go back to normal. So I would just be a little bit cautious about that, but again, that's your business, not mine. So you do you, boo. That reminds me. Okay. Dear garbage truck lore gods, or whoever's in control of the garbage truck, I would like to ask you please to wait until after my show to have the garbage truck, at least 30 minutes after my show, for the garbage truck to come by my neighborhood. Otherwise, I'm going to have to stop my show and run outside to get the garbage out, because I forgot. Good morning, Sassy. Oh my gosh, Sassy, I'm not looking forward to my Mission Impossible. I have an idea of what I think would be the hardest thing for you to give me to do, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, because you'll probably do it then. But I'm very nervous. I'm part of a raid train this week called Mission Impossible, and the Sassy Vintage Chick is assigning us our missions this afternoon, and we must try and sell within that mission that she gives us. Buzzy Burns says, I'm in the USA. I order the flat rate boxes from USPS. Do those set up as custom? You can set, I can't show you that on my phone because I'm in Canada, but you can do that as a custom shipping profile. And I would recommend you checking out wait. At I think it's D Archivist did her YouTube. Check out her YouTube, because she has some great videos on shipping and all that fun stuff. So that would be where I would go. But yes, you can say, okay, I'm only going to use the like small boxes, because you're doing a bunch of teensy tiny things, or like little pieces of Lego or something, and you're like, I can fit 100 minifigs into a medium size, safely into a medium size flat rate box, then you could set up a custom shipping profile if you want. Personally, I think it's just a lot of work for a little reward, because if you just use the regular weights, you'll be fine most of the time if you've done flat rate. But yeah, you're very lucky in the United States to have USPS. See, I spoke, and now the recycling truck is here early, y'all. I'm sure you are having lots of fun, Sassy, giving us all impossible tasks. I have a suggestion for Ken, but I'm sure you've already figured that out. Little squirrel, I just wanted to. So let me just scroll up. Little squirrel asks, are the tariffs paused or still on? Seems like he can't make up his mind. Yeah. So the tariffs are paused-ish. There are still some tariffs on Canadian goods, but there's not there's still goods on China, which go into effect. Most of it goes into effect May 2nd. So there'll be another announcement of a delay, May 3rd. So I guess the next time to buy stock would be May 2nd in the morning or something. I don't know. Little squirrel, when you figure out the magic 8 ball that's being used, and how it works, let me know, because I'm out of answers on that one. I'm totally out of answers. So ours is not to reason why. Ours is just to keep selling. Um, So, Buzzy Burn Creations is going to be reselling items for crafting and acrylic items like keychains. So that sounds like fun. And as Sassy says, flat rate should work well for that. But like she said, custom is a lot of unnecessary work. Yeah. Good morning, Absolute Flipping Deals. How are you? Cherry Finds. Hello. How are you? I'm confused. We're all confused. The world is confused. So, Faja says, whatever brings attention. You know what? I think the best thing we can do is just keep calm and carry on. Um, uh, as I say, in my show notes, I say he wants us to panic. Don't worry about it. Keep going. If we sell to other Canadians, we're fine because there's no duties and tariffs in Canada. So it'd only be to worry about any of our buyers in the US would be buying from us who might get tariffs, but the de minimis exemption remains at this time. So as long as that de minimis exemption remains, as no matter what tariffs he puts on, if the de minimis exemption remains, it means that any box that's $800 US or less will not get taxed, tariffed, or put duties on. So they just go through. I'm sure that cajillions of dollars is being lost through that, but they can't afford right now to hire more staff because that would be a different line item and budget item to hire more staff. It can't just be done through an executive order. So they need more staff at the Border Service Agency to go through all the boxes if they were to lower the de minimis exemption. So right now, 99.9% of us are probably shipping stuff down to the States that's under $800. So I wouldn't worry. So good morning, Blasian Bunny. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Quinn. Good morning, C. Dunlop. Good morning, Vixen Veronica. Good morning, Yaya. Oh, I tried to do that in one breath and that didn't work out very well, did it? I know. Good morning. Who else I missed? I'm sorry. Coco Deck. Good morning. I think I missed you. I'm sorry. Good morning. Good morning. So, feel free to ask questions and share your shows. Yes, Vixen Veronica. You know what? It doesn't have to be logical. It just is. So, I've just accepted that I I was talking to my father-in-law in England and he was trying to ask like what the logic was behind it. And I said, there is a significant lack, there seems to be a lack of logic when it keeps bouncing like this, other than, it reminds me of me trying to negotiate like bath time or bedtime or please eat your breakfast or take your pills with my mother. When she was living with me and with dementia. So, which a year ago she was. And yeah, I just all of a sudden I got like re-traumatized because I'm like, logic is something that we can still retain in Canada. And just a reminder that April 28th is election day. And if you think you're going to be busy on election day, you can go vote now at your local Elections Canada regional office. which every riding, otherwise known as an electoral district, has. So just go vote. Rougie Bougie. Oh my God, I love that name and I love your heart. It is so pretty. I love it. And I'm sorry. Good morning, Angie. How are you doing? Allowed to moderate. Boop, boop. Okay. So share your shows, ask your questions, ask for follows. I'm just here to answer questions as usual. Lester and Loom says, I'm having my second vintage decor show this Friday. If people could come and follow, I'd appreciate. Yay. Good morning, Melody. How are you? Gosh, they're just racing. I can't believe how fast they move, those ginormous. They're not little, the big trucks. Lady Witches, good morning. Thank you. I found these glasses yesterday. I started cleaning up because Easter's coming. Well, as you know, happy Passover. Is it happy? Do you say happy Passover? You'll have to educate me. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. So I now that it's Passover, my my Instagram is full of like cute memes with dogs celebrating Passover and staring at the little bone and wanting the bone. It's part of the Seder. So that's what I keep getting. My daughter sends them to me, and then I see another one. Angie's this, hey, Mick Collectors and DM Diecast, good morning. Angie's this and that says, I'm having my Fillibag show for family clothing tomorrow. Might have to bump up to later or Wednesday. We'll update. No worries. When you do it, you do it. That's awesome. Archie's Gets Lost. Good morning. Archie's Gets Lost. Good morning, Pyrex with Bex. How are you? I'm bidding on more Pyrex right now. I don't know why I am. I should stop bidding on Pyrex. Miss Snoopy, good morning. How are you doing? When's your next Snoopy show? Miss, ow. Oh. I bought these bags with, Lester says on May 16th, that's my husband's birthday, I'll be having a vintage marbles show. So if you're interested in vintage marbles or know anyone that is, please pass along. You definitely preload that vintage marbles show as much as possible because there are a lot of collectors on here. And I know I've got vintage marbles that I've got to deal with. I've got a bunch of confetti ones, and I'm so fascinated by the confetti ones because when I was a kid, I didn't have my mom had a huge collection because being a kid with a disability, there were very few games that she could play, but she got really, really good at marbles. So she had like an epic collection of really special marbles that she kept from her childhood. Oh my goodness, what the heck? These are so freaking, how much do you even sell these for? They're little tiny. I gotta look this up. Chicken lo mein, is that chicken lo mein? Chicken lo mein is yummy. Good morning, chicken lo mein. How are things in your world? Lester Lim says, I got some really huge marbles in the lot that I bought. I've never seen marbles that big. Like the big, like they're like oranges. They're so cool. They're like the ultimate. They're, especially if they're not smashed up, because they ended up getting dropped and smashed. Littlest Pet Shop mini brand series. Okay, yeah. How much? Like a plum size. Oh, so cool. So cool. Oh, they're like $1.99, $2.99, $2. Okay. All right. Not as exciting as I thought. Ugh. I'll wait till I have Canadian dollars and then I'll sell them in Canadian dollars. But look how cute they are. There's like all these little mini brands. There's like a VTech watch. Wouldn't it be cool if it actually worked? And little like Star Wars things and stuff. This one's so cute. So cute. So I will deal with that later. List those, put those in, but I'll put them in after the 15th. Kin Lady, I can't remember. Angie says I'm setting. I may have reread. I may be rereading this. I'm really tired. Sorry. I'm setting up a family fashion raid train with Kim's help. Third Sunday of every month. Almost ready to fill in the first one. Yeah. So if you're interested in joining a raid train that's about family fashion, if you have clothing to sell, kids, adults, men's, women's, unisex, babies, children, maybe even dog clothes. Why not? They're part of the family. Cat clothes, gerbil clothes, whatever. Message Angie's this and that to get in on that raid train. Ballast Treasure says, I have that, all that. Yay! Kitten Lady Rescue says, I have over 1,000 items of regret purchased on Whatnot, new with tags. I'll be selling in themed shows, so bookmark them all. That's awesome. Oh, you should join the raid train. Yes, the Tiffany's book. You already messaged me though, so I'll be reminded. Yes, gerbil clothes, Faja. I'm sure there are. Let me look. I bet you there are gerbil clothes. Gerbil clothes. Clothes for gerbils. Oh my gosh. This is for hamsters, but you know, close enough. They're little. Oh my gosh, we got to tell Kylie. Afternoon Antique Co. You need to crochet little hats for hamsters. Just look, they're little tiny hats for hamsters. Okay. New business. New business. Tiny hats for gerbils. Hamsters and gerbils. Oh my. I guess you got to make hamsters exciting. We had a hamster. Its name was Nuts because Maddie named it, and it liked nuts. So its name was Nuts, and then Nuts died in the middle of the night because they don't live as long as one thinks. But he died and got in, and when he, well, you know what happens to a body after it dies. So it was stuck in the tube. He had died like in part of the tube. He had found a little corner of the tube that he was comfortable in, and yeah. There we go. Thank you, Faja, for tagging Kylie so that she knows she now needs to start making. Let's see. We need rabbit outfits, rabbit clothing. Oh my God, that's so cute. Look. Oh my God. You can make your little rabbit into a dragon. It's a dragon costume for a rabbit. Yeah, it's officially, everything is on the internet. Here's all the cute Easter ones, snake hats. Here's a cute little like farmer one. Oh, these poor rabbits. There's some dresses. You can get dresses. Oh, you can make it into a strawberry. Yes, you do make my shows there's no guarantee. Only once a month do I concentrate on one topic and one topic only. And that is when I'm doing the Whatnot Sellers sponsored show where they give me some stuff to give away. I get some stuff to give away. I'm not getting paid cajillion dollars. They give me some money that helps towards, because the cost for me to ship to you is more than what they give me, because they give me the same amount they're giving to the US sellers, but our shipping rates are more expensive. So when I ship something out, it's okay. I don't mind at all. I don't mind. I feel like it's just exciting to be able to send you some Whatnot swag once a month. So I don't know if it will. But if it doesn't, I'm okay with it. Angie, I'm seriously okay if they just gave me a little bit of money to just help it along. I'm fine with that. I'll go with whatever. So just a reminder, the Canadian dollar selling starts tomorrow. They are going to be doing the transition at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means if you're a Canadian seller, please end your show before 5 a.m. and do not start your show until I would give them an hour. Give them till 6 a.m. Please just stay off the app. Don't go in and edit your, like start cataloging and all that kind of stuff. Give them that like 4:30 a.m. Eastern to 6 a.m. Eastern. Let's just give them an hour and a half to do what they need to do to transition us over. And yes, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do like it, but buyers are going to love it. Dave from Alberta. There we go. Dave from Alberta, who's primarily a buyer. However, he does have shows scheduled in the future. So one day we'll be able to be in a Dave from Alberta show. He says, I bought stuff in Canadian dollars last night. It was kind of fun as a buyer. Yeah, it's kind of neat when you don't have to worry about calculating out how much is this in US dollar, like US dollars, Canadian dollars, how much am I really spending? I think it's a good thing in the long run, Rebecca, because it's going to, yes, you will get, everything will be in Canadian dollars from now on. You'll get paid in Canadian dollars. Please, if you haven't had a chance yet, go to your email and search for Whatnot, and you will find last week, around this time, about a week ago, they sent on the 8th, the 7th or the 8th, they sent a message to all of us with all the information about the transition, as well as there was a link to an FAQ. Please go in and read it. And Time Hop says, I was able to add my debit card so I don't have to pay in PayPal. Awesome. So you're saving on some fees. Rebecca's Relics asks, will it confuse Americans? Some Skin Lady Rescue says, some of us are always confused. I don't think Americans are easily confused. There are some people in this world who will always be confused no matter where they live. I think your average your average human is going to be like, oh, right, I'm in a Canadian show. Okay, yeah, it's Canadian dollars. And hopefully, if they're on an Android phone, they're going to see the conversion. But my suggestion is at the beginning, if you're running, so I haven't looked at the conversion rates today, so I'm going to go with what the conversion rate was last week because I remember that. So last week, a $3, a $5 start in a Canadian dollars was about $3.52 US. So I would just, if I was doing a show today and that was the conversion or close to the conversion rate, I'd say, all right, I'm starting this at $5 Canadian. That's about $3.52 American, thereabouts. Make sure you say approximately or that's about, because conversion rates are different based also on the bank that they use, because the credit card companies charge. So I would just say, just be simple and just go, starting this at $5, that's about $3.52 American, starting now, 10 seconds. I think that a lot of people are going to see it like it's a discount bargain, right? They hear $5, but then they see, oh, it's only $3.52 or $3.70 for me. Oh, wow. Okay. Boop. I think they're going to boop more because it psychologically, it looks cheaper for them. And there will be some people who actually think that. Yes, Rebecca's Relic says, I see the conversion on an iPad, US dollars to Canadian. iPad, and any device, any Apple device, as well as on the web, you can already see conversion rates. But good morning, Shop with Tasha. Lester Loom says, are you going to increase your Canadian prices? Well, I'm going to ask Canadian dollars as opposed to US dollars. So if I normally would ask 35 American, then I'm going to convert that to Canadian dollars. Anything you already have in your store, in your buy it now, in your auction, your marketplace, all of that is going to automatically convert to whatever the conversion rate is at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. So I think, I mean, yeah. And Melody says, I'm not going to convert. I'm just going to do, if I was asking 30, but I think if you need to get, like, I was always going in my head and doing a quick calculation. Okay, I paid $5 Canadian, so I've already got $3.50 into it US. So I'm gonna ask for $5 American, because that will, at least if I just sell it at that breaks me even after. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ask your questions. Absolutely. Melody's just doing on par. Yeah. Alex says I'm going from $2 US starts to $3 starts. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like I was just unwrapping these and I did a quick thing to see how much they are for sale online, and they're only like $2 American. So I'm gonna wait until the conversion and then I'll sell these at $2 Canadian or two for $3 Canadian. So it's still a bargain. Melody says, I'm just converting when sorry. Kitten Lady Rescue says, has anyone had an unusually large amount of buyers having payment problems in the last few days? I haven't been on enough, but no, I haven't seen that. Has there been a lot more people coming on? Are they new people or regulars? Because that's interesting. If it's regulars, if it's new people, I think sometimes people are like bidding before they're properly set up, or they're overbid. It's you. Oh, so it's just you. The app just doesn't like you, Kitten Lady Rescue. I'm kidding. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why. I've noticed that. Yeah, I don't know if it's that either, Melody, because she's in the States. Um, Angie says I haven't sold to no, so not that problem. Um, when I would tell the seller when I got back in, they would say we had a lot of that lately. Interesting. They could have just been being nice to you. Kidding. No, I think there's been a lot more people. It may be that credit card companies are getting a little bit more antsy with the economy being the way it is about possible fraud, and so they're trying to crack down on it. So if they see you buying a lot, because it does every time you buy, every time you win, it's like another charge. And if you're in a show and you buy like 20 things, it's like one charge after another after another after another. And unless you like call your credit card company and say, please flag this app as being okay for me to buy in those quantities, I think it might might be a good way to manage your spending. I don't think Whatnot would think so, but Ballad Treasure says I'm currently working on Posh in the past. I was able to cross list from Posh to Whatnot, and everything is. Is there a new app we can use? I don't know. Is there anybody who's a Poshy on here who knows about cross listing to from Posh to Whatnot? I think you could do like a comma separated values, but you still have to manually go in and edit. But you should check out help.whatnot.com to see what they have. Oh, Melody says Sidekick does. Okay, sweet. Kinlade Rescue says it won't let me change payment methods. It says not change, retry, not change. It basically, so my recommendation would be to shut down the app completely and do a quick restart of your phone and see if that works. Then pull up the app and then try to pay. Actually, you don't even have to try and pay. You just have to go back into the show, and it should try and chart. It should do it then. Sometimes it's a glitch in your phone. Dave from Alberta says I have seen more U.S. buyers having credit card issues in the shows I mod. Yeah, I wonder if it's credit card companies starting to worry because of the economy and cracking down more on multiple purchases. Kitten Lady Rescue says it's not my cards because I called them. It's the app. Okay, definitely send a support message for that. You're gonna have a lot of support messages out there. I know. Oh, and you've not been able to buy. That is so unfair. I have to do that every single time. Good morning, Naked Maple. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. I have to go and change my payment method within my profile account, not within the show itself, then start over again. Oh, what a pain. What a pain. Good morning, Philly Flipper. What's up? Good morning, person with, I'm just going to call you GPH. Who did you bring in with you, Philly Flipper? Right. Good morning, GPH. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, A. How's it going, A? So if you're a Canadian seller, please don't panic. Canadian selling is going to work. We're going to get more people. We all do, I guess. Philly Flipper. I guess we all do. Bella Treasure says something that Melody will 100% agree with you on. Bella is Posh has too much drama and harassment lately. It's not the safest platform. A freaking men. And here's the thing. Let's not bring that over here. And I know it's not you. It's not you. It's your dog's birthday. It's Sky. Happy birthday, dear Sky. Happy birthday, dear Sky. Happy birthday birthday, little poppers. Happy birthday, dear Sky. Aw, your baby's growing up. She said woof woof. Woof woof back. I love you, Sky. You're such a sweetheart. Mine's downstairs barking nonstop. Sassy says people get banned here are going back to posh. Yeah. There's a lot of, it's just, Angie says I stopped posh 2 years ago. What's happened? It's just drama. It's just, you're not in my show, or you're doing a show at the same time as me, or me. That's what it sounds like. That's literally how it sounds. I know, how dare you do a show at the same time as me? That's it. Philly Flipper, you can't do any more morning shows. You're not allowed, because I'm smaller and have less of an audience. Melody says, I look at the posh girls as the mean girls in Jock, and Whatnot is the theater club and the AV club and the dance committee and the student association, and the musical and the band. Ballot Treasure says it's a huge headache, and publicly shaming buyers and sellers is stupid. Publicly shaming buyers and sellers on Whatnot will get you banned. Period. If someone any public shaming, there is, even now in the terms of service, in your community guidelines, if you go to help.whatnot.com and you look at the community guidelines, they even say things that you do off the app. So if you go onto Facebook and start blasting somebody on Facebook unfairly, and someone reports you and takes screenshots, that's considered, that's you being on the app. So it's all in there now. It's all in there. Seller community board. Kid Lady Rescue, are you on Facebook? Facebook, the only thing that you should use Facebook for, somebody can't tell me that I'm not one of their big time sellers. I should be quiet because I don't know it. Oh, okay. You were on Facebook. I'm sure you were on Facebook. Yes, Kid and Lady Rescue is always bashing Philly Flipper and Philly Flippers. I was on a seller chat on here. Oh gosh. Yeah. So I would just leave those rooms. Just leave those rooms. You don't need to be in the mean girl rooms. Yes, as Sassy says, Facebook is in not any way, shape, or form affiliated with Whatnot. The Sassy Vintage Chick posted the link to the plain white envelope information for those of you who are US sellers, because it's like one of the questions that is constant is, how do I do a plain white envelope? And people blasted her for it, or like laughed at it. And it's like, that is like official information, instead of, we don't have that in Canada. Plain white envelope, we do not. No, we don't. We don't have anything equivalent. It would still be the same price as it is to do any sort of like even slight tracking. We have plain white envelopes with stamps. We still do that. It does suck to suck, but we're okay. We survive because we don't need to sell stickers to get to 1,000 sales. We just do 1,000 sales. Ballot Treasure says, I don't have Facebook, too much drama. There's drama on Facebook. There is people who think that they can say things on Facebook that are mean, and somehow it's okay on Whatnot reseller chat, like Whatnot reseller groups. If you want to join one of those Whatnot reseller groups, by all means, but use them. Go to the ones, pick the ones where you're allowed to share your shows, and then just share your shows. Share your shows, because the algorithm will be happy with you if you share your shows. The more you share your shows onto different platforms, the more the algorithm goes, oh, this person cares about their show and is trying to get more viewers. We're going to push them up a little bit higher in discoverability. It is good for the algorithm for you to share your show. So that's why on my Discord channels, I have a channel that says, share your shows. There's always a share your shows channel. Like, just spam it, spam it. Go into those Facebook groups and share that show. Share that show. Every one of your shows should be shared into there. Yeah, on your Instagram, use your Instagram. I mean, for the Facebook groups, that's just what I think they're very useful for. Otherwise, I find that there's just too many toxic humans. There's like, yeah, there are some big sellers who are trying to help, but then there's a lot of big sellers who are just fluffing up their ego with a bunch of bullshit. And not even they don't even actually do shipping. They have people to do shipping, and then they give shipping advice. And it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. um I Spy Vintage, you cannot use a stamp for shipping. It has to be done using tracking. So you just have to, if you want to do something lightweight, it's still going to cost you. I did a sticker giveaway to a person who's in Canada, lightweight, but it's still, because of where they live, was $10.66 US. So it's one of those things where I say, don't do giveaways, do a $2 start or something, do something else, offer a coupon. You don't need to. Philly Flipper, you're not one of the ones fluffing your ego. You are actually helpful. Maybe not so helpful on that little private group, but you know, that's where you're known as Eli, so it's a little different. I understand. Kitten Lady Rescue says they said it's against policy and you can be kicked off for doing that, and quoted message spamming. So yeah, it's against policy to message spam on. Oh, or yeah, in the group, there are some Facebook groups where they don't let you share your shows. It's in like, it'll say you're not allowed to share your shows in here. Those groups I'm not interested in. So join the groups where it's okay for you to share your shows, and then use the rest. Philly Flipper, you are comic relief on our group. You are. Very true. But then so is Sassy. Sassy helps me giggle all the time. Yes, and Angie Cincinnati says everyone join the Canadian Discord link in show notes. There's no drama for your mama there. We just don't let it. Oh my gosh. Ballad Treasure says there's a new scam on the P word. Cancel the order after the show, collect the e-transfer, and somehow the label still works. Does that work? No, it does not. No, you can't cancel, and then if you cancel, the label is canceled. You can't, once you've actually generated a label, you can't cancel an item. It's already done. Once you've created the label, it's done. Share my show when I know it's allowed, and they said it about spamming. Yeah, leave that group. Definitely leave that group, Kitten Lady Rescue. Yeah, unless you were in somebody's show. If you were in someone's whatnot show, then yeah, don't share your show. Yeah, we're on Discord, Miss Snoopy. Everyone's welcome. It's the unofficial Canadian Discord. If you go into the show notes, you'll see a link. You have to copy it or write it down. Yeah. So one of the things that's really important about in a whatnot show, if you are like in my show, I have in my show notes, it says feel free to share your shows. If I'm doing one of my selling shows, and you're not going to see that in the show notes because I'm selling. Right now, I'm here and you can advertise yourself as much as you want. When I'm selling, I want to focus on my selling. I want to focus on that, and anything that's about somebody else takes away from that. I might during my show say, hey, ask somebody about their shows, and invite people to say things during my selling show. If I'm like, okay, I've got to go grab this thing, everybody share your shows, that sort of thing. Otherwise, definitely make sure that you check the show notes to see whether it's okay to share shows, or wait for the, if it's like a seller chat and they don't have in the show notes, wait, because there's usually a time when you can share your show. Otherwise, it is against terms of service, community guidelines, to go into someone's show when they're selling and say, I have a show tomorrow, or I sell that too, or I have, like, you can't go into a show and somebody's selling dad jokes and you say, oh, I sell dad jokes too. You can't do that. You can say, I've bought some of those, they're awesome. But you can't say, I have some for sale as well, or I have some for sale at only $1 or less than yours, or something like that. I've seen that. I've seen people when they do that. Yeah. And Angie says, we are family in this show, but be respectful to sellers unless they say you can. Yeah. So Louie rating with a party of 7. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Everyone, please follow Louie. Going to make you a mod so you can make an announcement and say anything you want to say. Gwen's Vintage, good morning. Hulk Baba, Jojo, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Louie. Thank you, Sassy, for that announcement. Thank you so much for the raid. Feel free to share your shows. Welcome in, everybody. Feel free to ask your questions. This is just a morning seller chat. Usually I'm doing some sort of work, but your girl's lazy this morning. Kailash, good morning. How are you? I think I need to do a show, but I also have so much work to do to get ready for Easter. And this afternoon, Sassy's going to be giving me a Mission Impossible for them. So bookmark my Mission Impossible show that's coming up this week. Don't ask. Mission Impossible for me to remember. Sandra's, good morning, Sandra Sensations. How are you? When is my show? Mission Impossible for me to find my show. It is on the 16th. 2 days. Holy fork. Oh no, it's only 2 days. I don't even know what I'm doing yet. Louis says, if you like wrestler figures and from Canada, follow and tune in. Yes, everyone check out Louis. Please bookmark and follow. I know, Sassy, that's the idea. Make me panic. I mean, I have enough crud that I could probably figure it out, or I'll just go shopping. You'll just see me shopping tomorrow. Where's Kim? She's shopping. Actually, tomorrow I am going shopping because I'm meeting up with Cobweb Vintage. And then Wednesday, I'm meeting up with Absolute Flipping Deals. So I know shopping does sound fun, doesn't it? That's a great excuse. But yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be like sell Canadian pottery, Kim. That is Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible for me not to want to sell Canadian pottery because I have found so much. Kin Lady Rescue says, I found that there's information all over the place on different platforms and all in one place, and I can't follow the rules. Yeah. So where you want to go to find the community guidelines, and I recommend just checking in every once in a while. Help.whatnot.com, and then you want to go to help.whatnot.com. Stop listening to me. Help.whatnot.com, community guidelines.
According to Whatnot Help Center.
Okay, yeah. So, oh my gosh, it has last updated February 12th. So, what I usually do is I go up to, you find the Whatnot community guidelines, and then I go to where it says when it was, see how it says February 12th? I go in and I check when it was last updated. And if I know, oh, I was already there a few weeks ago. I don't know, Time Hop, can you message her just to remind her? That would be awesome. If you wouldn't mind doing that for me, then you can actually read them. There's thank you, Michelle. There's hello, man, Michelle, how are you? So yeah, you just have to, there's, I know I did a show after this update where I every month or so, whenever they do an update, I will go in and read through every single one of the community guidelines as a show. So now that I'm on now that I've been forced to be on YouTube, you can watch that again. There seems to be others beyond that are less restricted. Yeah, so there are the Whatnot community guidelines you need to follow. If a seller says it's okay, like me, to share your show, then it's okay, and you can't be reported. If someone reports you for that, they'll go and look at the show and who it was, and they'll know, for example, it's me and it was my seller chat, so it wasn't actually against community rules. So yeah, so Kitten Lady Rescue, if you go into the community, again, the community guidelines on Whatnot, there is a section about the first section is prohibitive and restricted items. So, and then there's a link to that policy so you can read it. So adult and explicit items, you're not permitted to sell sex toys or sexually explicit items, and then there is a policy about sexual adult items that you have to read. No alcohol, spirits, wine, and beer. No air guns, no pellet guns, no BB guns. Oh wait, no. Air guns, pellet guns, BB guns, airsoft pistols, airsoft rifles, and toy guns may be sold on Whatnot only within the US, provided the seller complies with this policy. So, but then a Canadian buyer can't buy from them because it won't get across the border. So then they have all the rules about that. There's an animal related policy that's specific rules about animal products. No bombs, no bombs or explosives or fireworks. Like some of this stuff should be like, um, so yes, everything's recorded here, so you can listen to me insanely talk. Yeah, we're selling it. Okay, yeah. Let me just yay, awesome. I No, you can ask all the questions you want in here unless you want to just ask me privately. That is fine, Sandra. So other chats like this are saying that you can. I thought you couldn't do fundraising. I thought you couldn't do buy me a coffee. You cannot do buy me a coffee. It's in it. People are still doing it. That doesn't mean it's right. People are still doing it. They're doing the buy me a coffee and I'll send you a sticker. They should just say buy a freaking sticker. Or they should say, hey, they could have in their tipping message, you can create a tipping message that says, if you tip me, I'll buy coffee with this. It's so yes, there are seller chats that don't give complete information. So here's the thing. Even if I'm saying it to you, your job is to verify it yourself. Um, I could be wrong. I am not the be all and end all. I am not Whatnot support. I'm not a Whatnot employee. If I'm holding up the phone and showing you that I'm reading from help.whatnot.com, if I'm showing you here, I'm reading from Whatnot, that's a different story because I'm actually reading what it says. But then I even screwed up when I started to talk. I saw air guns, pellet guns, BB guns, airsoft pistols, blah, blah, blah. And I said, not allowed. But then it says, oh, it is, but only US only. And it has to be orange tip and it has to be this caliber and it has to do this and it has to do that. So for a Canadian, you're not allowed to sell any of that. But if you're a US seller, you can. So I started saying the wrong thing. I fixed it. I fixed it by saying the right thing. But always double check any information by going to help.whatnot.com. The real answers, the final answer for that day, because remember they update things regularly. Always go back there. I spy vintage ass. I see people selling Playboys all the time. Are those okay? Yes, because they're not sexually explicit. They are not hustler showing activity. Does that make sense? They're showing nudity, and you must make sure that you say that it's explicit content, and there's parts that you have to cover up for your pictures in that, or they won't let them through. But yeah, you can sell Playboys because they're not sexually explicit. But and so there's a full rule, like there's like rules upon rules for adult items. So like you can't sell sex toys. You can't sell things that you can't sell a picture of someone using a sex toy. You know what I mean? Um, um, can you charge people for watching your past streams? Um, Sassy Vintage Chick, yeah, I'll send you a private message about that. There is somebody who has a listing that is I'll send you a sticker and you'll be able to watch my past stream for $5. Gwen's Vintage, you can sell food on here. You can sell food on Whatnot. You just have to follow the guidelines. There's a food and drink policy. So if you go to help.whatnot.com and put in food and drink, you'll be able to read the entire policy on that. There's also for pet food, there are restrictions around pet food. Yeah. So yeah, just a sticker. A sticker is a sticker. A sticker is a sticker. Hey Ivor, what's up? Have you sold another t-shirt for $1 gajillion? Warren Ann asks, I'm new here. Hi, just wondering, does it cost more for you to ship to the US than to Canada? It depends on the weight of the item. So it really depends on the weight the weight of the item. If you're a Canadian based seller, the majority of small shipments are going to be cheaper for your US buyers than for your Canadian buyers. Once the weight and the size of your box goes up, then US buyers are paying more for shipping than Canadian buyers. Part of the reason for that is because Canada Post or even Chit Chats if you're using Chit Chats, it's usually cheaper for your US buyers, period. Um, if you're using Canada Post, the heavier the box, the more expensive it's going to be for your US customers. Um, so yeah, it all just depends. And it also depends where you live too. So if I'm shipping, I'm in Ontario. If somebody from New York buys from me, it's going to be cheaper than somebody who buys from California. California. Um, um, so yeah, I think the thing is that if you see somebody doing something and you're like, "Ooh, I think that's a cool idea. I want to try that." Make sure that you go immediately into the community guidelines and review them again to see whether or not just because they're doing it doesn't mean that it's right. Um, and if you're a newer seller or a smaller seller, I don't want you putting your business at risk just because somebody bigger does it. You know what I mean? Just because they do it and so far they've gotten away with it does not mean that it is right. And I'm a rule follower. That's just me. My husband, on the other hand, would just be like, well, just do it anyways. Who cares? Like when you get caught, ask forgiveness. I don't want to ask forgiveness. I don't like getting in trouble. Warren says you're in the Maritimes. Yeah, okay. So really, Canada Post is your only option. You do have Chit Chats. If you live right in Halifax or on the Bedford Bay, Clayton Park, or something like that, Dartmouth, then you could use Chit Chats. Otherwise, it's going to cost you to drop off at an maritime bus company location, and then you pay for your box of all the boxes to go to Bedford Bay. Um, Kitten Lady Rescue says, I have a photographic memory and I'm like that guy in Suits where anything I read, it's in my head. I can tell you what. Yep, same. Same. I can't tell you what page number, but I can tell you how far along in the book and where the paragraph is and what the shape of the paragraph is. So yeah, there we go. Kitten Lady Rescue says, I once read all the policies. They're in my head. I see people do something and I'm like, are there policies somewhere else that I haven't seen? Yeah. So, and I think the thing is that the best thing to do is just to, if you see something that you are worried about, you can report it to whatnot. And then after that, just unfollow that person. Unfollow that person. Don't go back into their shows. Don't support. Don't support something that you feel is wrong. If you feel squidgy about something, I mean, there are people who are doing things that are like on the cusp of, um, like they're in a gray area, and if it makes me feel uncomfortable, I don't go into their shows. There's someone who I used to be very close with that I don't go into those shows anymore because it makes me uncomfortable. I just feel like people are getting ripped off. I don't like that feeling. I don't like being there. I don't feel like I should even be there to support it because it's like I'm I'm co-signing, as they say in Alcoholics Anonymous and Al-Anon. Don't co-sign the bullshit. Don't be in there. Just get out, unfollow, move on, block if you need to, and then just move on. Um, um, so good. Hey, C Dunlop. Good morning. So I'm going to do my first show on 4/16. Yeah, on the 16th. Yay! Fingers crossed. I'm having a good day with my health. I hope so too. So I need some good vibes for a first show. Okay. Everyone, please follow C Dunlop 32 and bookmark very first show on the 16th. I'm very excited for you. No, Kitten Lady Rescue, you don't need to go in there to see if she's talking about you. So you just don't need to be in there. Vixen Veronica says, I joke that my memory is visually photographic. I can tell you location, shapes, colors, like packaging, but not the words. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't it fascinating how bye, Sandra, have a great work day. It's fascinating how our brains work, and people's brains work differently. Like I didn't realize that some people don't have an ability to visualize things, like to, like, if I say close your eyes and think of yourself on a beach and the waves are rolling and you can hear the seagulls, some people can't. They're just sit there going, what? Like, I can close my eyes and I can see a beach and I can see the water and I can hear the seagulls. I can do that. I hate doing those things. I used to like purposely think of something else while someone was trying to do that meditation because I was completely convinced as a kid that all that meditation stuff was actually them brainwashing me and they were going to take over my brain. So I would think about something else because, I'm crazy. Oh, Ivor, you made it to 1K. Congratulations. Congratulations. But some people don't have that visualization. So it's kind of interesting when you're like, when you talk about something, for example, if you've got a product, I'm just going to pretend it's this, right? And you say, look at this cute vase. Just imagine you could put your pencils in here and hold them on your desk, or you could put your makeup brushes. Some people can't imagine that. You have to actually physically put a makeup brush in there and hold it up for them to be able to imagine it. And it's actually a significant portion of the population can't see this and imagine something else happening that isn't what is happening isn't what they're seeing in front of their eyes. So that is why you will often see people purposely take a pen or take a brush and put it in there to show you what it'll look like, because people can't visualize it. It's crazy. I didn't realize that brains work differently. Like, I was 40 something when I realized that brains work differently. Like, what is wrong with me? I did not know that. Vixen Veronica says learning that some people don't have inner monologues. I know. How do you like uh well, I had a dog. I went to a sleep clinic because I was having trouble sleeping, mostly because of the pain. But he wouldn't listen to me about that, and they did all the testing and everything, and they said like I have psychological insomnia because my brain won't shut off. And I said, your brain, like people's brains shut off. And I said to my husband, and he goes, what are you talking about that you can't? I'm like, if I don't have some noise in the background, my brains turns on and is like, I need to have you something for you to listen to. It's like a radio station with all of my anxieties mostly. Or like, let's concentrate on all the pain that's in your body and we'll talk about it. We'll have like an inner monologue about my pain or something that I did when I was like 12 years old that was super embarrassing. So let's completely relive that visually and feel all those embarrassing feels. Awesome stuff like that. My brain is stupid. Can I speed read and see the errors before I get to them? Yeah, not as much as I used to. My brain is definitely slowed down, Kitten Lady Rescue, but yeah, I can speed read. And that's why sometimes I get distracted because if I'm reading out loud because I've already gotten to something that doesn't make sense and my brain's paused because it's like, wait, there's something ahead. You need to stop. Lyra says, I'm pretty excited to make it. Should do single cards or marbles to get it. High-end shirts took forever. Yes, there are some things that you can sell and get to 1,000 really fast, but you know what? Doing 1,000 high-end shirts, that's a lot of coins. So congratulations, Ivers. That's exciting. You were consistent. You've built a brand. Everyone knows you, or almost everyone knows you as someone to go to for like the best t-shirts and clothing. Angie says, my brain is slowing with age. Raising these boys is wearing you down. You love them dearly. But yeah, it is. That would be, I know, Angie, you are amazing that you were doing that. I just love you so much. You are such a beautiful soul. Vixen Ross says, I can't imagine not having a running storyteller and jukebox in my head. I know. Kitten Lady Rescue says, this is why I don't understand my first child, because she couldn't do what I could do. I had trouble with my stepkids because they don't have, my daughter is like a mini me. So we don't even have to really say things to each other because we're thinking the same thing always. But yeah, my stepkids, different brains, different upbringing, different everything. And it was hard for me to understand them. And because I didn't realize some of the things, I didn't realize that because I would be so shocked that it'd be like, imagine this, or like when you were playing with a little kid, you'd say, let's imagine we're mermaids, and no, not unless there was like the whole costume and everything else. Okay. Absolute Flipping Deals asked something whatnot whatnot-ish. So let's talk about that. Absolute Flipping Deal says, I have a question about what charges look like on your debit statement. Mine showed recurring payment, whatnot. Do others look like this? Oh, like, cause okay, so what happens, absolute flipping deals, is that the way that depends on the Canadian bank that you use, but a lot of banks, if they see if they see that you're constantly buying on Whatnot, they assume it's like they think it's some sort of, like, recurring payment that you're doing because it's so often that they list it as recurring payment. So it just basically is another indication that you're buying. I love you for it, by the way. Please don't stop. But yeah, that's what it is. It shouldn't say that, but it's because you're buying so much. Um, Vintage Artifacts, hello, says my brain often moves faster than my mouth does, which ends up with me creating new words out of the two words my brain can decide which one. Yes, I'm the same way. Oh my gosh, isn't it fun though to come up with a new word? Noam Chomsky says that um, we that the English language is structured in such a way that we come up with new phrases every single day. Like we don't repeat the same thing very often, unless you're a U.S. politician and then you have slogans, or you're PP and you just need slogans and you just repeat the same thing over and over again. Canada strong, or no? What is it? Is his Canada strong, or is the Liberals Canada strong? Can't even remember now. I just put in PP. Conservative. What? It's not a logo. What is it? A slogan. Slogan. 2025. Canada first. Canada first. Canada strong. I like better. Kinley Rescue says I can't concentrate on one thing unless there's another thing in the background. Yeah. Ivor says I still can't find the Whatnot wheel after downloading Chrome and switching all the stuff. You turned on Seller Tools. I wonder if it's. Let me just check. Hang on, because I haven't done the wheel on OBS. So Whatnot randomizer FAQ. Please hold. As of now, live stream tools are only available on iOS and PCs at this time. For more detail, go to our OBS guide. So you need to go to the OBS guide to set up your OBS. Have you set up your OBS? And then let me just search in here. Find in page random. Nope. Okay, so you have to go do the OBS thing first. Set up your OBS, which I assume you've done. Yes, you do buy a lot of watches. Sorry, I'm trying to. When do my new reviews from buyers show up? PC Toronto Cards. If somebody wrote a review, then it will show up probably within an hour or so of when they did it. If they don't, if they just give you stars, then you won't see anything written. You won't see that it said that, if I bought something from you and I just gave you 5 stars because I was busy and I didn't have a chance to write something, then I might hit 5 stars, and then it goes towards your rating, but you won't see that it said I gave you 5 stars anywhere. It'll just show up as that you've got. So I have, like, for example, if you go to my profile, I think I have 470 reviews, it says, but if you scroll through there are not 470 written reviews. There's just 470 star ratings that I've received. So I hope that helps a little bit. And PC Toronto Cards, are you going to be at the Toronto Card Show, Sports Card Show? Elbows up, absolutely. If you're going to be at the yeah, yes, Ivers, bug me with Noam Chomsky. Feel free. I studied him in grade 13 because I was doing a report on children's language development from the age of 0 to 4 years old. I did a presentation and everything. I had video. I went all out. Who is OBS? OBS is a platform you can use to stream Whatnot from your laptop. Yeah, so yeah, your number keeps going up, but you have no new written reviews. That's just because they just hit 5 stars. As long as they hit 5 stars, you'll just be happy. I still like you too, Ivers. Whatever it is you're about to say. Um. Oh, and Melody, if you're still in here, the answer is I think I had it at 10. So let me know if that's all right. Otherwise, we can just figure it out. Um, I'm just gonna get rid of all I've got so many messages. It just never ends. Thank you, Ivers. Okay, so it's almost 11 o'clock. So this is the time when we do the tell us where you're from and tell us what you sell so that everybody can follow everybody else. We've got, how many people are suffering with me in this room right now? We have a double digit. My stomach is gurgling. Why are you making noise? There's 35 of us here. So hi, I'm Kim. I'm the Red Rooster. I sell just about everything that stands still long enough, mostly vintage decor and dead people's things. Or things that people don't want anymore. Yeah, I'm in Hastings, Ontario, just outside of Hastings. Technically, I'm in Asphodel, but I hate saying that. So Hastings makes more sense. Plus, nobody knows where Asphodel is. So, because if you put it in a map, they just kind of put you in the middle of a farmer's field. Vintage Artifacts, trying a new time tonight at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, Monday's Mini Mania. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Awesome. Sassy Vintage Chick is sassy. Why can't I speak today? Sassy from the US. I sell everything. Lots of shows scheduled this week and part of the Whatnot community sellers. Yes, so follow Sassy Vintage Chick. She does great seller chats. Plus, she's just a great human being. And on the 16th, it's the Mission Impossible raid train that Sassy is organizing, where she's given every single seller an impossible mission to sell. And I'm a little nervous as to what she's going to do to me. Dawn Morning. Hi, Dawn Morning. Good morning. How are you? Indiana Gemstones Jewel. Okay, sorry. Indiana sells gemstones, jewelry, a diamond giveaway with every 1K followers GIA certified. Ooh. Everyone follow Dawn Morning and check out her shows. You could win a diamond in one of her shows. That's exciting. Angie's This and That says, I sell everything and more. Ray Train being made for family fashion, and I'm from Listowel, Ontario. A place to live, a place to grow, Ontario. Does everyone remember that? That was from Bill Davis days. In my day, we had a song. Rebecca's Relics. Hi, I'm Rebecca. First show next week. You're going to be selling vintage decor. I'm so excited for your first show. Oh my gosh. You're going to share them in the group? Oh my goodness, Sassy. I am so excited. Iris Basement says, I like to shirt you. I can shirt longer than most. And yes, I have a big one too if you need. Stop in and watch me play with his chicken. It's a blast. He has a chicken. He does have a chicken. Not a real chicken. It's not a live chicken. But he also loves to make me say things. Follow Ivor's Basement. Epic t-shirts. And he's hit his 1,000, which is so exciting. Lester and Loom is in Toronto. Vintage decor mostly, but also costume jewelry and some silver jewelry in an upcoming show. Yes! Mary Lack is in Arkansas, US of A, selling fabric from my own sewing room every Thursday morning. Ooh, with max shipping. Oh, that's awesome. I love collecting fabric and then doing absolutely nothing with it. I make a pile. Melinda's Time Capsule. Hi, Pennsylvania, US of A. Yay! Today, vintage decor at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Huge Lenox haul. Oh my God, that's awesome. Pistachio Cowgirl. Hello. Nova Scotia. True Vintage. I'm supposed to be having my first show this Friday, but the new currency conversion has you stressed. Don't worry, it's going to be okay. Just price your items. If you're already starting to list your items, price them in US dollars. You can always edit tomorrow after it converts. So you can always go in and edit it to whatever you want. So you could always just put $1 on everything for now. as long as you don't put it into your show, because someone could pre-bid on that. And then you'd lose the pre-bids if you edit. Alex says storage share. Regular show is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Storage unit fines, $3 Canadian starts all night long, big lots. We have a video game show tonight at 6, and it's $5 start bids. That's really exciting. I love storage share. Everyone make sure you're following storage share. Thank you, Alex. Kitten Lady. Oh, no, wait. There's Ontario. Shop with Tasha says, Oshawa, Ontario. I sell clothes, toys, home decor, and more. Having my pre-birthday jewelry show today at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow is Tasha's birthday. There's a lot of April birthdays, a lot of April babies. Time Hop Treasures is in Alberta. Vintage decor every Friday night. Her vintage variety shows are so much fun. Every second Monday, she's now doing her polymer clear earrings that are made by her. They are so adorable. Really pretty colors. Really gorgeous. I love her polymer clay earrings. Cactus Chaos, hello, is in SoCal. I sell a bit of everything. Next show is on Friday. Yay! Debbie Zions, hello. My next show is this Thursday, 12:30, of my vintage home decor finds. I'm from Dundalk, Ontario. Awesome. Hello, all that sass. All that sass is 1K followers celebration tomorrow at 7:17 p.m. Eastern. Loose gems and jewelry. Woo! Congratulations on 1K. Woohoo! And Ivor says, thank you so much for the follows, everybody. Mary Lack says, that's why I have too much fabric too. You have the same problem as me. When's the changeover happening to Canadian dollars? 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So less than 24 hours. So if you haven't set up your Stripe account with whatnot, I don't think, Kay, I think you arrived later, so you're okay. You're already set up. Anybody who's like an OG seller on whatnot needs to make sure they set up their Stripe if they want to get their money, honey. It's very true. Dawn Morning says 20 followers from 1K. Oh my gosh. Okay, everyone, please follow all that sass so they can get to 1K. They just need 20 more followers. That is so exciting. I'm just trying to read sorry, Kitten Lady Rescue. I'm trying to read the announcements, the where everybody's from, so I can get through that, because there's always a lot. Hi, Vixen Veronica. I'm Veronica. I've been signed up as a seller since December, and I still can't get brave enough to go live. That's okay. Schedule a show for like December. I don't know if you've scheduled shows yet. Have you scheduled shows yet? If you have, schedule them for December, and then you can reschedule them if you need to. You can just keep putting them back, but you can always pull them forward. Ventheus, video games on April 21st. I'm from BC. Awesome. K Minder Inc. asks, do we need to change our pricing, or will they convert our pricing automatically? Automatically at 5 a.m. it is going to be converted to whatever Canadian dollar value is at that moment, and then you can go in and edit as you like. Ivor says, I don't know how to do this Stripe thing. So if you just go to help.whatnot.com and type in Stripe, it'll take you step by step through it. It's pretty easy. You need a piece of ID, and you need to know your banking information, and then it just automatically deposits. It does take 3 days to deposit, so it's not instant gratification, but you just got to the point of nearly instant gratification. So it will take time to transfer. We're not going to get that satisfaction, but it's also not going to cost us, because I loved PayPal. Mary Lack, the US currently is fine with PayPal. You can still use PayPal. It's a Canadian thing. PayPal, if you come into like my show after the 15th, you won't be able to use your PayPal account to purchase from me. You'll have to use, in any Canadian show after 5 a.m. on the 15th, you will not be able to use PayPal. So Ivor's instant payout isn't gone. What it is that we could, with PayPal, I could transfer the money to my PayPal account, and that would happen within hours. And then from there, I could transfer into my bank account from PayPal, and I would pay a fee, which was like 2% or something, I can't remember. But then I'd pay a fee to get it to my bank. And that was, I was paying. I was paying for the privilege of getting my money right away because I'm just impatient. And I usually, so it's like it is way faster. So instant payout is way fast. Once you get to 1,000 sales and those sales have been completed, then you'll get instant payout. It means that at least from whatnot to your bank account should take no more than 3 days. So it still is way faster than if you had to wait until all that stuff arrived. It's as soon as you generate the label, you will get instant payout into your ledger, and then you can withdraw from there and pay out to your bank account. Sassy uses PayPal debit. You can get if you're a Canadian looking for an alternative to PayPal for purchases in whatnot. A lot of people are using Coho because you can online you get an online number and you can pick out your cute little physical card, but you can use that online number online anywhere, and then you just bring it in. All right, so let me just double check I haven't missed anybody. I Spy, wait, let me just see. I Spy Vintage is in Kempville, Ontario. I'm having my third show this afternoon, clearing out my antique booth. Ooh, that's exciting. I'm currently bidding on an auction for my somebody that I absolutely fell in love with. His name is Mike. He has an antique store in Peterborough, Ontario, and it's being closed for, he's been over 56 or 57 years he's been in the business, and it's time to retire and start doing some other things instead of sitting around in an antique store all day every day. So he is retiring, and oh my gosh, the lots, the things to buy. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have way too much stuff. I'm gonna rent the U-Haul now because I have a feeling I'm gonna win a lot of things. To Pack the Ripper, what's up? Ivers, you could tell them that politely. Ivers, I think with Posh, I don't think a lot of people are going to go back to Posh because at 20% commission, that scares a lot of people off. 20%. Who wants to pay 20%? Plus all the drama of Posh. I'm glad I never went very far with wasting my time setting up Posh, to be honest. Kitten lady, being kind to them works wonders, I have to say. If you send a message to support, I know you're mad, but remember that the person who reads your next message is not the same person who read your other 10 messages. So try to just try to remember that. Yeah, so I think that the best thing to do is to wait to see what their answer is, and then make up your mind from there, because there's not gonna Whatnot is not gonna offer a phone number. They do 100,000 tickets a day. 100,000 tickets a day. So even if you do 8 tickets in one day, there's a 99,992 others. Ivers, you're still getting instant payout to your ledger as soon now that you sold 1,000. Once it is Ivers, it's because this app is huge, and a lot of people send in messages that they can find the answer if they went to help.whatnot.com. So they ask questions that they have to then say, here's the link to learn more. And sometimes they do that because they're just trying to quickly get through as many messages as possible, and they don't read your message. So I just politely say, thank you for giving me that information. I know that information. Can you please reread my message, because this is what I need to know? And I try to make it as succinct as possible. Yeah. So the majority of the messages that they get are complete time wasters. And then there's other messages that they get that are valid, and they have to weed through all of that. Good morning, Pac-Man girl. Feel free to share your shows. It is 11:08, so I'm going to look and see if there's someone we can raid, unless someone has another question. Tomorrow, I'm sure that we're going to be talking about Canadian dollars. Oh, yes. Pac-Man Girl says, I have a question if we're going to Canadian money. Sure. Feel free to ask your question. I'm looking down here for a second. Angie says, I sent in a help request for a shipped item. They were quick. I think each request go to certain areas and then some are more busy than others. Yeah, it depends. If yours is a buyer questions, like there's people who are dedicated to just answering buyers. There's people that are dedicated to just answering sellers. There's people in the middle who help with different things. So there's certain people that if it's a question regarding like a technical OBS or something, then there's people who have that expertise and it goes to them. So sometimes they're trying to answer like 50 questions that just came in while they were sitting down to, right? So, if a US buys for my show, I'm not getting paid US money. Right. If a US buyer buys in a Canadian show starting tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern, they will be paying in Canadian dollars. And then like we do when we buy from a US, like when we buy in US dollars, our bank converts that, or our credit card converts that from US dollars to Canadian dollars and puts a Canadian dollar amount on our bill. It's the same thing for an American. So an American will now buy from a Canadian in Canadian dollars. That will be converted in their bank account or their PayPal or not PayPal, in whatever they're buying. Yeah, there's no live chat to a customer service person. Kid and Lady Rescue, it's all done through the ticket system. So so when the bot says, here's your answer, do you need more help? Do you want me to create a ticket? Just say, yes, please create a ticket. I always make sure that all the information of what my question is and what solution I need is in my first message when I start my message, so that when WhatBot answers me, I can then just say, create a ticket. Pack the Ripper. Can you collect payout in US dollars if you deposit in a US account? Are you in Canada? Let me just check. View profile. Doesn't say ships from US. Canada. You must be Canada because it doesn't say ships from US. Okay. So you're in Canada. So right now, whatever you sell, until 5 a.m. Eastern, if you sell anything today until like 4:30 a.m. tomorrow, it will be sold in US dollars in your account unless you are already in Canadian dollars. But then you will and it will be immediately published to your not published. You will get a payout tomorrow morning of whatever is US dollars is in your account to whatever US dollar attached, like whatever you had set up at that time. It will be in US dollars. And I guess if you have a US dollar bank account, then it would, if you have direct deposit, you could direct deposit, yes, to your US dollar account. But after that, Whatnot's switching to Canadian dollars. So if you use a US dollar account to be the one that deposits to, it is going to have to convert that Canadian dollars to US dollars, and you will get charged the transaction fee by your bank. So make sure you set up a Canadian dollar account to use starting tomorrow if you start doing payouts tomorrow. But all of the US dollar money that you've saved up will go straight into whatever you already have. So whatever's left over tomorrow morning from what I sell will go direct deposit into my and anything else. Like if I sell something today and I don't have the label generated or my payout. So basically what they're doing is, so you sell something today or in the middle of the night tomorrow, like in the middle of the night tonight, and it's sold in US dollars. There's going to be a 60-day transition period. So within that 60 days, if you don't have instant payout, when the stuff finally arrives to your buyer, you'll see like a US dollar amount. The US dollar, though, amount that you will have, if you have any pending transactions that haven't been paid out yet in US dollars, you'll only see that on the web. You have to go to seller.whatnot.com to see that. Okay. Ivers, it will Sunday by whatnot, then hopefully you'll get it if stocks go well. Better turn on your Kim join because I know now you came in and watched me secretly. Ivers, actually what happens to be here's a secret about me. When I leave this when I leave this show and I raid into somebody, I leave my iPhone on because I'm always curious to see how long people will. Because I'm always you should always raid, no matter how big or small your show is. You should always raid into someone else at the end. That's not a requirement by whatnot, but I think that it helps build your community and helps build your profile and whatnot if you raid. So use the raid feature and always raid. I'm always curious to see if I leave this phone on and I go and I don't come back until like tomorrow morning, this keeps running as long as another person raids. So you'll see that the red rooster, like I'll get tagged, like, "Hey Kim, how are you?" And I'm like, I'm driving somewhere. I'm not watching, but my iPhone is. So I apologize that sometimes it seems like I'm ignoring you and I'm in a show. It just means that my iPhone has been riding the wave. My iPhone is in shows. I'm not. So I apologize, Ivers, if I was in your show unknowingly and didn't say hi because literally it was my iPhone was the one that was rude. My iPhone apologizes for not saying hi. It is actually, I've got a cover on it that it's red. So it is the red rooster. So yes, AI is a shopaholic. Angie says, I rated someone the other day. No acknowledgement by anyone in the show. Aw, I'm sorry. It is really important that if you get rated, even if you've got like, even if it's just you by yourself, and I've seen this, someone will just, they're done and a show and they had nobody, they raid into someone else, acknowledge and say thank you to that person as if it's like, I get it. If it's not 250 people, like if someone raids me with 250 people, I am going to freak out. I won't freak out as much at like 5 people, but, um, but I will say thank you unless I don't notice it. And then someone in my chat will say, raid, raid, raid. I think sometimes that means that the vibe wasn't there. And sometimes just people don't realize, especially if they're new sellers, they don't know what to do. They don't realize that they should say thank you. Yes, Gwen's Vintage says something that's I think is really important. It's on my dear whatnot list. Is she says I see sellers struggle to try and find out who rated into their show. It is such a pain, especially if you get rated by a fairly big amount because you've got all these people. Kitten Lady Rescue says I cried the first time I got rated. Oh, or is there somewhere in the product profile to put the made in information? Pistachio Cowgirl. If selling vintage clothing, should we be noting in the product title where it was made because of customs tariff stuff? Yeah. So right now, the way that Whatnot does the custom tariffs, the labels is they put made in Canada. So my recommendation is just to cover yourself with 2 hands in a picnic basket is to put in the description where it's made. And I actually have it up in my show notes, I think, under tariffs. You have to scroll down a bit. It's long. I apologize. As usual, everything is long in my show notes. And we're going to raid into a Canadian. So last call for anything, and then we're going to raid into a Canadian who's doing clear out dresses, and I think I need some dresses. So, you know. Ivers is so whoever got raided by Ivers twice and didn't acknowledge is about to get a third raid and it will get awkward. So that person really should say thank you. Angie says she was not new and that's why it made me more frustrated. I'm so sorry that happened. Stamp pickers, good morning. How are you? Whatnot needs a Canadian section. That too. So yeah, Whatnot needs to have something where when you get rated, it like makes us. I think it should make a sound. You know, like when you do a bloop, it goes bloop. I think there should be like a sound for when you get rated, like a watch. I don't know. I don't know what it should sound like a bunch of raiders screaming or something. I don't know, but there should be some sound that it makes. And then I think it would be great if, you know, when something sells and you get a little notification that goes to the top that says, you know, so and so's payment has been processed. It would be great if it just said at the top in like purple, you know, Pistachio Cowgirl just rated you. That would be very helpful if it stayed up there for a second so you didn't need to look. Yeah, a burp. Stamp Picker says, hi everyone. I literally thank everyone who's rated me and I appreciate all you ratings. Such a great practice. Yes, absolutely. And everyone check out Stamp Pickers. Awesome seller. The Purple Goal says, I have an actual US account, nothing to do with Canada. I have the one that you're talking about too. Oh, there you go. A doorbell. Ding dong. Oh, Sassy said that she sent the Mission Impossible. She sent, oh my God. Okay. I'm a little worried now. Let me see. Mission Impossible. Amy. Living Bliss. Kimmy. No, not me. Phyllis. Sandra. What Liz Lake is got brown? You really tortured her. I love it. Oh. Purple for Gumby. Okay. Oh, Minnie. Under 3 inches. Oh, thank you. That's not impossible. There's nothing impossible about that. What else is there? Come on. That's not impossible enough. Give me something more impossible. Like, I don't know. Damn it. That's too easy. Do you know how much mini shit I have? Ah. Okay. Mini Blue Mountain Pottery. Oh, mini Blue Mountain Pottery under 3 inches. Oh my God. Girl. Okay, so Crazy Bee Lady asks something important. Do I have to do anything special if I'm announcing donating the proceeds of one show to a charity? Technically, yes. So go to help.whatnot.com and put in fundraising to learn more about how they like you to report things. You need to basically there's a whole process involved. When they did the Dragon Hoarder benefit, they had to make sure that they had a separate GoFundMe and that all the sellers who donated something had to show proof of that. So you just have to basically email them to let them see that you've done the donation, that sort of thing. So yeah, you just have to be really careful about that, or careful in your wording. Yeah, so if you buy something from me and it's if it's anything to do with LGBTQ, then I'm going to take the profits from that and I put it directly into programs in the community. But I'm selling little tiny things. And so it takes some time. So I basically add it all up. I have a little ledger and then I go and I make a donation and I send Whatnot the receipt of the donation once I've done it, because it's for local groups. Pac-Man Girl says, I helped 2 sellers with their logos for free. Anyone would like help for free? Oh, there you go. That's awesome, Pac-Man Girl. And Pac-Man Girl made this beautiful painting that I'm going to buy in your show. You have when is your show again, Pac-Man Girl? When is your show? Because oh my gosh. I need a better Sassy. Minis. I can do minis all day. How many am I supposed to do? Should I have to do them in rapid fire or something? April 18th. April 18th. Everyone bookmark that show. Toyota Holic in Quebec. Bonjour, comment ça va? How are you, Toyota Holic? Oh my gosh. And everyone is going crazy in the chat. In 2 days, it is the Mission Impossible raid train, and the Sassy Vintage Chick has given us missions impossible. We have to sell only those things. Living Bliss Vintage got black. It's so hard. Evermore got warm and cozy. Oh, put a plant in it. Hodge. I love that one. Spring. You gave yourself green. I love it. Angie's just not what to say. I'd like to say about how many amazing sellers are on here. Canadians are growing, but we love our American sellers and buyers as well. Absolutely. And that's why I love getting on raid trains like Sassy's raid train. I'm probably going to be the only Canadian on the train. So it's there's one stop. Good morning, Nuria. So I think we are going to be going into Ennis Coastal Closet if she stays on for us. Not for us, but if she stays on long enough. I'm reading the closed caption. Got a phone call. Minis. Add something to that. Make it slightly harder for me, because do I have to sell sudden death every 5 seconds or something? Dun, 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 dun. Doodaloo, doodaloo. How's the closed caption doing with that? Doodaloo. Yes, minis is too easy. Girl, you haven't seen my inventory. Like right in front of me. I got Wade's. Doodaloo. I've got like seriously like right around me. I've got But no, I love it. I love it. I'm going to figure out how to make it like really hard. How about only blue minis? Okay, only blue mini things. That eliminates Wade's. I can do that. I can do that. Thank you. Thank you for making it harder. I feel like I need it to be harder. Hello, Leslie. Good morning. Everyone followed the Sassy Vintage Chick and a Reworker's Passion. Oh dear. Yes, that must be my accent. That's not good, is it, Kit? It's not one of those. Look at that. The guy's holding up some pretty ugly shoes. But you know, to each his or her own. Sorry, I'm looking at a Birkenstocks. He's selling Birkenstocks. Okay. Let me just get another piece. You don't have to find. All right. We're going to be going how I think someone asked and I got distracted how to find Canadian sellers on here. If you go to Thrifting with ADHD, if someone could tag her. Thrifting with ADHD has put some Instagram reels up where it shows you how to find Canadian sellers. You can also do it by going to the category that you're interested in. So let's say it is estate sales and storage units. You go into there and then right here, there's a filter. See there, filter. So you click on filter. And then down here, it says shipped from. So you hit shipped from, and then you select Canada. Oh my gosh, check this out. There are storage unit shows booked for United States, France, Canada, Germany, United Kingdom, Belgium, Austria, Spain, and the Netherlands. That's nine countries. Okay. And then, so I selected Canada, and then I hit show results, and it's all pretty much me. No, there we go. There's Fairbid. There's a whole bunch of other people besides me. There's a lot of me, but you know, because I like going in this category. So that's how, yes, and Pac-Man Girl is in there. So go to the category you're interested in, and then tap on that little filter button, and then you can you go to shipped from, and then Canada, and show results, and there you go. There's all the antique and vintage decor that is in Canada. So there are lots of new sellers on. It's hard for me to keep up with all the sellers that are on. It's that awesome. All right. So last call for everyone to share their shows. Tell us about what you have going on. And thank you, Angie. So Thrifting with ADHD. If you look at Thrifting with ADHD on Instagram, you'll see she has Consta. Consta, you just unlocked Egg. I'm so sorry you had to suffer through 3 of my shows in order to do so. All right. NS Coastal Closet currently has there she is, only has 2 people in her show. So we're going to go in and we're going to spam with Canada flags. She's selling dresses from extra small to something XL. I'm doing well, Consta. I'm doing well. Vintiquity says epic tiki mug unboxing on Wednesday night's show. Do not miss it. That is awesome. And I'm doing a Mission Impossible show where I must only sell miniature things that are blue, that are 3 inches and under. So that's going to be fun. You know, there's going to be probably some Blue Mountain pottery in there because it has to be 3 inches or under. So I'm going to be running around with a measuring tape. Stamp pickers tomorrow evening, 4:15 p.m. Pacific time. Let's get some Canadian folks in the room. Stamps and collectibles of all sorts. Yes, may the force be with you. Thank you, Sassy. I'm really excited. Now I have a challenge. I'm gonna have to go in a bunch of Smurfs. Ooh, Elsa's blue, so I can sell little Elsa. And what else can I sell that's blue? That's right beside me. Ooh. Oh, this watch is blue. This teensy tiny watch is blue, so that counts. All right, 2 things. How many minutes do I have? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will have more than enough stuff. I'm going to have to preload it all. All right, we're going to go clear out dresses. We're going to do a big Canadian. Can you tell me how to turn on sound notifications? I don't remember how to do that. I Spy Vintage, to be honest. I think it has to do with your phone. You have to set up your phone. It's not a bird watch. It's a little it's a VTech little mini brand. Isn't it cute? All right. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow or maybe today. Depends on how I'm feeling. Thank you, YouTube Vintiquity. Love you. Pac-Man Girl has 7 p.m. tonight. Variety of items. Hello, Retro City Collectibles. Now I'm going to say it right. Retro City Collectibles. Hello. Okay, here we go. Let's go blast her with a bunch of Canada flags and American flags and whatever else you want. All right.